hello. Welcome back to me. Welcome back to True Blue Thai. Welcome back to Thailand. I hope you're doing well. How are you doing this Tuesday morning? Wan and Khan, as they say in Thai. How are you doing? Sorry, Cat from Thailand. And say welcome back to me, for instance. And right, let's delve into yesterday's news, or last 24-hour news, or future news. Because in our club, sorry, excuse me, just need a bit of water. For instance, yeah, it's a bit cloudy today. For instance, we had another spot of rain this morning in Thailand. Again, for instance, very unusual for this time of the year. And so to have a bit of rain. The sun's come out now. I'm going to go run up to the market in a minute. To get some bread. Some kun and bang, as they say in Thai. So it's been unseasonally, as it were, 26 degrees at the moment, which is fairly chilly, and for me wasn't good for people, for instance, who in Europe at the moment, for instance, and in America, that kind of thing, where it's pretty chilly. So it's good for you guys, etc. But not so good for me. But it's cloudy. It's weird, really. It's 2 days in a row, I just can't see the blue sky, and it's like, oh my god! It just reminds me back when I was living in the UK. It's amazing how much you miss the blue sky. That's the reason I'm a Man City fan, because I miss the blue. Anyway, guys, so for instance, what's happened in the last 24 hours since I've been chatting with you? So we've had for instance, the reaction videos, the reaction media, the sports media, the sports journalists, the what's it called? The TV and the radio, they've all had their say now. For instance, I'm sure it'll continue, but because they've got a game on Wednesday, so we'll basically, for instance, I think they're going to wait till that, and if Man City lose that one, they will really kick the cooking. But I think overall, because of what's happened, for instance, with other games as well, with Arsenal, etc., for instance, like that, kind of Man City kind of got away with it to a point. But I'm still expecting a cooking from the media, because quite honestly, for instance, after they start sobbing and crying their eyes and dabbing, and they'll go, who can we talk to? Who we can talk bad about? Man City. Because Arsenal have lost the league, and Chelsea are not doing well, and for instance, so they've got, and Man United have set down another 200 people staff, and it's not good, and they played badly, for instance, on Saturday, for instance, and so the focus is kind of, the media is kind of focused on that bit over there, and but I couldn't understand why until I was watching Alice talk football, for instance, in that squeaky little voice she's got, and so English. For instance, when she was a big United fan, etc. But she kind of talks a bit sense, and she kind of puts things into context a little bit. She plans it out what she's going to say. Like, unlike myself, I do it off cuff, which is kind of smart, really, and because I can roll on, I can kind of not get to the point. When how many people have said, "But did you start?" Anyway, but it appears that, for instance, Alice actually mentioned yesterday about why United fans were so upset with Man City, and I thought, well, that's typical. They're upset. Well, she's mentioned, it's when Liverpool win the Premier League title, they're going to get 20. They've won it 20 times, and she says that's all we had left. And yes, I'm like, whoa, that's why you were so upset with City. Not because it's City, not because it's against Liverpool. It's the fact that, for instance, Liverpool wins the title, and they were so dependent on the fact that Liverpool got such a bad record at City that, for instance, if City win and Arsenal get that goal, win that game, and 9, go down to 5 points, and Arsenal may have a chance. Even though, for instance, a slim chance, I think that's what United fans were counting on. Not because of anything they like Arsenal better. It's the fact that they don't want Liverpool to win it, because Liverpool have now won it 20 times. And it's the only thing they've got left at United. And and she kind of said that. And the Saeed mentioned it as well. And, and he started with his channel with his head up, in his complaining, and and I was thinking, why are you so upset? And it's, but now I know now, and in one way, has kind of eased my pain a little bit. So knowing that United and Arsenal fans are crying because we'll never catch it. We haven't got a striker. We got so many injuries. And and we got to stay humble. And then you've got United fans moaning because not only are they in 15th, not only is Radcliffe, the sheriff of Old Trafford, going around and axing people. Oh my God! Let's ban soup and sandwiches, and people soon will save 10 pence. And there you go. In the grand scheme of things, God. And then they justify, Talk Sport trying to justify why. Oh well, it's a smart one. Sly Sports. Why, it's a smart way. You take care of the pennies, the pounds will take care of them. Using any kind of narrative to make things better. And where Croggy is coming on and saying, well, it's not good and the whole thing is bad. And so, yeah, and I'm thinking, because he's kind of like, he's making things worse. And then you've got the likes of Jordan coming out last week and saying, oh, well, and United have spent so much on Ashworth, getting Ashworth out and blah blah blah, and Ten Hag out, and they spent so much trying to get the new manager in, and blah blah blah, and it's cost them 25 million quid. And then Jordan says, well, on the grand scheme of things, 25 million pounds to a club like Man United is not a lot of money. Huh? Nobody's picked up on that one. I think I'm the only one who's picked up on that one. He's dead, and because they're going around and saving. Oh well, if they stop the lunches and they stop the whatever, it's going to save them £1 million a year. but £25 is not a lot of money in the grand scheme of things. When you're paying Nathan Mount £300,000 a week, God, that guy must have gone, wow, party's come here. Oh my God, and gee whiz. But it's such a badly run club. It has been for such a long time, but they're so up their own backside. United, they'll never see it. They'll see it, but they won't see it. They'll see it, but they won't address it. They'll see it, but they'll, for instance, they'll blame the Glazers or blame people or whatever. They'll see it, but they won't react to it. And there'll be a little bit of murmurings, a bit whatever, but they won't do anything because they're United and they're typical United. And it's got an awful fan base, the worst fan base ever of any football club ever. And Arsenal catching up to him with their fan base, etc. But there you go. So that was that. So Arsenal crying because of they're not going to win the league, and so it made me feel a lot better. And I've been listening to the guys now in South Stand. I've just been listening to them lot, to Dabs and everything, and Dabs. Don't worry about your pronunciations. Nobody, a lot of people say things wrong. I'm still trying to get somebody to say quality correct, because I'm sick and tired of listening to people saying quality when it's quality. And I've seen so many people saying it, so many football players, and it's got a good quality, that guy, good quality, and it's quality, Christ. And so the English language has been ripped apart and by the new generation, etc. Or by people, for instance, who can't speak properly. Elocution lessons, we need more. And because appreciate the beautiful languages. Not until you live overseas you realise how beautiful the English language is. And like the Italian language, my favourite language. But it's beautiful, etc. Beautiful. But anyway, let's move on. So, but then what they were saying about the game on Saturday, on Sunday, that they were quite positive and overall with the play, and regardless of what the media is saying, the lineup was a bit nervous in the beginning, having Lewis back in, but no Ruben Dias again, unbelievable, you need your stalwart, you need your captains in defence, and he wasn't there. But overall, for instance, they did okay. But the problem is the fact that they're making mistakes, and it's unfortunately, for instance, you can play for 90 minutes and be perfect, and then just make one mistake, and that's what people remember. So Lewis making that one mistake, and he got a lot of cooking from LB's French channels when he was talking about his panel show, and I thought they were quite hard on Lewis. but I thought he had a decent game. Unfortunately, he's been pushed into this. He's a player, for instance, should be like Phil Foden, been gently brought into the team, but unfortunately, he's been shoved into the team. And unfortunately, for instance, because we need the players because we don't have a defence. And so he's been and unfortunately, for instance, and he can do a job. And I thought he played okay. And I was listening to New York Gok, and he was saying, Lewis, I don't want to listen to anybody. I'm going to go at Lewis because Lewis played well. Then I listen to other other City fans on LB's channel, but there's a guy there, I hate this guy, I don't want him in anywhere near this club. So there you go. So difference of opinion, but people have a right to the opinion. But but me personally, I'm in between. I think we should play him, but he should be brought in as a part player. And this is why this is the squad again, down to the fact that injuries are affecting our squad. And you talk about aging players, but I think, for instance, if we had a big enough squad, I think the players, we could bring in more defenders. I think we only started off with 7 defenders this season when we needed more defenders. But again, on paper, it looks like we've got enough defenders. I've got a lot of experience in the back. But unfortunately, one or two have got injured. And as they've come back, the others are injured. The only person who's staying fit, really, is Guardiola. And LB is saying, it's only a matter of time before that guy goes down. So, which is probably true, but I'm praying that he doesn't. But also, his form has gone off because he's playing too many games. It's a perfect storm this season, really, for Manchester City, and it's really depressing. It really is upsetting, and again, for instance, but the consensus was that Liverpool were on second gear, and for instance, Man City didn't have a outlet in the middle, and we didn't have anybody running in, and Doku's what's it called? Skinning Trent Alexander-Arnold more than one time. They would look it up. Where's there? So he was going alone, and it was him and 5 other Liverpool defenders. So, and it's the fact that Liverpool didn't need to do much. So because once they got the first goal, that was, for instance, it was like the Madrid first goal. And we're up against it. And for instance, when you got Haaland out, and for instance, it's kind of really, well, where's the goals coming from? And then you're hoping the fact that you've got Foden and De Bruyne in your team with Haaland, with Doku and Savinho, and you're thinking, well, that's a good attacking team. But unfortunately, the two guys, for instance, what you expect, your best playmaker, your best attacking midfielder, for instance, didn't turn up, and got substitutes for McAtee and Kevin De Bruyne, and Phil Foden, was all over the place, really. Didn't do much either. So, and these are the players, for instance, you rely on, your experienced players. So it's worrying. It's annoying, and it is disappointing. And this transfer window coming up, etc., and the way we do it, and it's all right saying we'll get 10 players out and 10 players in. First of all, we're back into the same size squad because we need 20 players, really, 20 players in if we're going to get 10 players out. Because quite honestly, for instance, we need a bigger squad. And getting like for like, etc., for instance, is not going to work. And also, for instance, is the like for like going to be good enough, for instance, to replace? We're talking about the best midfielder in the world, or has been for me, Kevin De Bruyne. It's not easy getting. It's all right saying I'm going to get Florian Wirtz or how you're going to get these guys in. Are they going to come to City? This is going to take time. This is going to take a few transfer windows. So, for instance, it's gradually easing them. I think you're easing them in, bringing them in slowly. So it's a mega important, this transfer window in the summer, for instance, and the next few transfer windows. How we're going to change it? And getting rid of players just like that. For instance, it's not going to be easy. B, for instance, where they're all got to go, and etc. For instance, so it's Hugo Viana, for instance, has got one hell of a job. I'm glad Steak is sticking around, but he's going to want a hell of a job this season. For instance, who is going to get out and who's going to get in, and so it's going to be tough. I know it's going to be expensive. We got the money, but it's going to be tough. But so it's going to be really, really tricky, this transfer window. It really is. News. For instance, let's get onto the news. So I saw a bit of news. If my telephone can play ball, Right. Erling Haaland has trained as normal ahead of Tottenham's Tottenham away on Wednesday. For instance, so he's playing. So he's training, but he's got this pain, and it's whether, and of course you don't want to aggravate the pain, so it's up to him whether we're going to see him. It's going to be. I would say that 60-40 was to go where we'll see him on Wednesday. I hope to see him because then we can have a good look because he won't be playing against Plymouth. So then he can get, and I hope to see him, and I hope it's not. And for instance, even to play 60 minutes or so. Right. Again, this is what worries me. When KDB came off, there was a fan arguing with him, and which is not what you want to see. And the last one to see is I can understand for people's frustration, but you got to respect that, for instance, of what Kevin De Bruyne has done for us and these players have done for us, and we need to respect the players. And because they're not as bad as United, they're not. This is only the first season, the first few months where the players have had a drop off, really. So, for instance, to sit there and constantly slag them off, etc., is terrible. I think it's really, really, really bad. Being a fad Benz. Kuzinov, what's it called? Again, he's getting a lot of plaudits from the City fans. He deserves it. I watched that game. I thought he was magnificent. Listening to the likes of Micah Richards, and he was a called City fan now, was saying as an Arsenal fan, he needs to get out of our club. But he's been paid by Man City, and I think he needs to apologise to City and City players, and to Kuzinov especially, because he criticised Kuzinov, and he's a defender himself, and he shouldn't be even. And I think he's just pandering down to the likes of Rio Ferdinand and Carragher. And again, it's just this, and so Micah Richards, you need to step up and stop listening to these crap and apologise. He was by far one of our best players. They were talking about Diego Costa to replace Edison. Let's see how that goes. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm not sure whether. I don't want to see Edison go. I think we should do whatever we can to keep Edison, but I worry. Right, so it appears that, for instance, 1894 is on TalkSport today. White and Jordan, 11:15, 115, talking about away fans in home areas. So I hope they do that, and I hope they White and Jordan respect to the 115, and I hope the Y115 give it back to White and Jordan if they don't. So yeah, but away fans in home areas is a massive issue, and I was looking at a podcast, etc., from a Wolves fan, and he was saying the same thing. For instance, and it's blatantly obvious these guys don't hide. They're wearing colours of their away fans, and how the hell the security, for instance, let them in. I just don't understand. I really don't. For instance, and I heard about a guy, for instance, who really, really got a good kicking Liverpool fan. But what the hell's he doing in the Man City area? Claudio Haaland will train with Man City on Thursday after Tottenham on Wednesday. All being well, he'll be selected for the FA Cup round tie with Plymouth Argyle. I thought they'd give him a little break, to tell the truth. But we'll see how he goes on. Good. Great to see him. LB, I've only seen partly. LB's absolutely going bananas about this guy. So we'll see him. So... any other news? Yeah, there was City. Coming up. I'm going to do my thingy tomorrow. My preview of the Spurs game. They're in a. They were saying that they've won the last few games, but I'm sorry, but they haven't. They didn't. Well, they won the last one, etc. Then they won a League Cup game, etc. An FA Cup game, which they were expected to win. So they haven't really, really, really turned it down. They've just stopped losing, but they're not actually doing anything. So I'm not actually overly thinking that, for instance, they're out of the woods yet, Spurs. But because it's gone quite a little bit about Pochettino, but we'll see what happens at the game. But I think that's about it, really. Yeah, Mackie Richards, could you please stop? Set up City fans reacting back. But yeah, but overall, for instance, I'm feel more cheerful. I feel more happy because I've upset United fans, even though we didn't win against Liverpool. But I thought the team played okay. Unfortunately, we didn't have an end product, and two of the players, etc., you would expect to turn up, never turned up, unfortunately. So I don't know what the hell's going on there. And I said, like, for instance, I am afraid. And again, the only worries that are my concern right now is the how we're going to do this transition and with the players, and but it's going to be difficult. But we'll see. Anyway, got a game preview tomorrow of Spurs. See how we go on there. Snow has never been a good place for us at White Hart Lane or Spurs Tottenham's new stadium, etc. The best stadium in the country, a beautiful stadium. For instance, we'll see how they go on. What's it called? They said we won last year, for instance, when they were all wearing Man City tops because they didn't want Arsenal to win. What's it called? But I thought we did a great job last season, etc., by winning that game 2-0 with the Pep and the Ortega save, and yeah. Things will be a little bit different this season. But we'll see how we both get on. If we get away with a draw, that's fine. Again, Man City needs just to get to qualify for top four. That's it. So, for instance, the pressure's off us big time. So even if we lose, we've still got plenty of games. 15 games for us to go to get top four, and I feel that we will get the top four. It'd be nice if we finished second, but we'll see. Anyway, but other than that, for instance, like, subscribe, tell me what you're thinking about City and about how you're feeling about City now. Sorry, I do apologise. I don't want to talk too much. But yeah, how you feeling about City and everything? I'm feeling a bit more positive after. I'd like to see after what's it called Sunday. But we'll see. A good day of not listening to the regular media always does you good. And yeah. Anyway, guys, we'll love you, leave you. Sorry, the cat from Thailand. Have a good day. I'll see you one Wednesday. Take care.